How's it going, everybody? It is Charlie, and welcome back to the return of the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Yes, I am back. I am refreshed after my 2 weeks away, and I am buzzing to get back into getting more content out for you guys. So, just before we get into this live stream, as always, please smash the like button. It really does help get the stream out there to more people. Share it with your friends, your family, your neighbours, whoever, and let's get more eyes onto the channel. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. If you could do me a solid and subscribe to the channel if you are brand new, please hit the notification bell as well. And of course, continue to get your comments in the comment section down below. There's a few of you in the building from what I can see. So let's just get into a few of your comments. Jay's in the building as always. Evening, mate. How we doing? Kevin, as always, as well. We missed you. Yeah, I missed you guys as well. I really did miss making content. I really did. Edward's in the building. Hiya, mate. How we doing? Mike saying, welcome back. You've been missed. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. See, I can't spell. I'm that excited. Edward, I thought that we could have beat Wednesday as they are crap. Yep, we'll be getting on to that shortly. Farker will be working on Leeds when teams do the low block on us. Yep, hopefully, mate, because that was very frustrating to watch, wasn't it? When Spence came on Wednesday, could not deal with him. Yep, that is a fair point. Looking tan, fella. Do I? I don't know, Jay. I think there's times where I think I have, and there's times when I am. There's obviously certain bits of the body that are whiter than others, but I won't scar you for life and show you that. Arship is saying hi all as well. Yeah, so there's 10 people in the building as we stand, guys. I understand that I've been away for a while, so numbers may be a bit lower than usual. But as I said, anybody that is in the chat at the minute, please smash a like on the video. Please subscribe and continue to get your comments in. So then, where do we begin? Let's start. I'll try and go in like time order, basically. So at the time that I left, there was a few days left of the transfer window, and obviously Jed Spence was heavily rumoured. Glenn Kamara was on the verge of signing, and obviously the future of Luis Sinisterra was still uncertain. I believe within the first few days of my holiday, we announced the signing of Jed Spence on a season-long loan from Tottenham. Then Glenn Kamara followed. And then another name who Leeds signed, who we weren't really linked with up until literally the last few days before he signed, was Elia Gruev from Werder Bremen, another midfielder. So let's just speak about Jed Spence first. Jed Spence, I'm absolutely over the moon with. A player who is a definite upgrade on the main player that we have in that area, which is, of course, Luke Ayling. Better going forward, quicker, better defensively, better football IQ, better positional awareness, all round just a better player than Luke Ayling. That's no shade on Luke Ayling. Look, I appreciate everything that he's done for the club over his years here, but it is time to move on now. And I think Jed Spence, even though it is just a loan deal for the season, I think is an unbelievable signing for this level, as we saw when he made his cameo appearance against Sheffield Wednesday. Again, we'll come on to that game shortly. Glenn Kamara, again, happy with that. I think we definitely needed midfield cover. As good as Ethan Ampadu has done so far this season, you never know if his form may dip. You never know if he may get an injury, suspension. So it is good that we got some cover in there, and Glenn Kamara has played at a very good level in Scotland for Rangers. He's played in the Europa League, Champions League with them. So again, a very good experienced midfielder, and I think he is someone that can bring some good balance into the midfield. And then Elia Gruev from Werder Bremen, again, another midfielder, more of a deep line holding midfielder, which is interesting. I was quite surprised to see us get another midfielder after the signing of Glenn Kamara. But obviously, I was thinking and hoping that we would maybe go for a number 10 or a left back. I do think those areas will be revisited in January. They have to be because I think the number 10 role is a role that we definitely need an upgrade on. And obviously at left back, we've got a left back who isn't great in Junior Firpo, and then we've got makeshift left backs in Sam Byram, Jamie Shackleton. So yeah, I do think those areas will be revisited in January. But Elia Gruev, again, as I was saying, deep line holding midfielder. Again, add some good cover into the area. It'll be interesting to see, especially against Millwall on Sunday, if it'll be, I don't know, Ampadu and Gray, if it'll be Ampadu and Kamara, if it'll be Ampadu and Gruev. Either way, Ampadu will start. He's been our best player so far this season, and I'm sure Daniel Farker will know that. So yeah, guys, obviously, just hit me up in the comments. Are you happy with how the transfer window ended in terms of incomings at Leeds United? I think the transfer window as a whole, in terms of the players that we brought in only, I think was a success. I'm happy with the caliber of players that we went after and the caliber of players that we managed to get over the line. Obviously, outgoings is a different scenario that I could probably spend another hour on a separate video talking about, but I don't want to dwell on the negatives in terms of the transfer window. I think we've brought some good players in areas that we definitely needed. And yeah, I just want to get your guys' thoughts, so hit me up with what you think. Just get into a few of your comments. Maybe it's still lighting. Is that on about my tan? Yeah, maybe it is, mate. Maybe it is. Spence looks class. Yeah, he really does. Jay's saying another rat in Sini gone, but with Jadon Anthony coming in, I think we have the better part of the deal. God, yeah, I forgot about Jadon Anthony. Sorry, my apologies. Jadon Anthony obviously came in from Bournemouth as part of the Luis Sinisterra deal. I will be coming on to that in a little bit more detail. But Jadon Anthony, a player who played in nearly all of Bournemouth's games in their promotion season a few years back, knows the league, very, very good player at this level. And he actually started 3 of the first few Premier League games of this season. So it just shows how much Bournemouth valued him. But obviously they saw an opportunity to get Sinisterra from Leeds and they used him as part of the deal. I'm just glad that we got someone in return. I think if there wasn't a player coming in return or a player from another club that Leeds were after, I don't think Sinisterra would have been sold. But obviously there are things that happen behind the scenes which we'll come on to in a little bit as to, why that deal happened. But yeah, again, really happy with the Jadon Anthony signing as well. And I do think he'll play a very good part in this season. And Kevin agrees with Jay. Yeah. Jay saying, buzzing with all our signings this window. Yeah, I would have loved a left back or 10, but I really can't complain. Now Farker knows the squad he has to work with and can cook. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's all we wanted throughout the whole transfer window, especially when all of the players were leaving on these stupid loan deals and things like that. At least now we've got clarity on the squad. Farker knows who he's got available, who's fit, who's not. And, hopefully his way of playing can be really implemented now. I think we've definitely seen glimpses of what this Leeds United team is capable of in the first few games of the season. But for me, the season really starts for us on Sunday against Millwall, because now, as I've said, we know what players we've got available, and hopefully he's working hard on the training pitch to get this squad integrated and form relationships on and off the pitch, and it will all contribute to our season. The window being good, get a left back in Jan. Yeah, hopefully that is the plan as backup for Firpo and Byram. Yeah, I mean, again, I'll probably discuss Junior Firpo in a little bit, because I've seen a lot of difference of opinion on social media about whether he should come back into the team, but we'll discuss that shortly. Window could have been great, but was good overall. Yeah, I agree. I think if we'd have kept hold of Sini, if he hadn't have been such a rat in the background, then I think I'd have been very, very confident. I still am, but there's just elements to our game at the minute which I'm a bit unsure of. And again, we'll be coming on to it when we discuss the Sheffield Wednesday game. Apparently, Farker likes the look of Firpo, so we'll have to wait and see if he can get a player out of him. And look, Junior Firpo could be a very good player at championship level. But again, if he's good at this level, then we'll know his level because he wasn't good in the Premier League. But if he can contribute to this season, at least the positive is that he is an out and out left back. And if Farker can get the best out of him, then fair play. I will definitely hold my hands up if he comes in and plays well. Thoughts on current injuries there, but coming back, is this a good thing? Yeah, we're just saying, look, actually, let's just speak about Firpo now. As I said, a lot of difference of opinion about Junior Firpo at the minute. My opinion is that I think he should maybe get an opportunity for a few games if he's fit. But if it isn't working after a few games, I will drop him immediately and just put Sam Byron back in there. I think Jamie Shack has had a good start to the season, but I'm sorry, I just have to disagree with all these people who are praising him, saying that he should be playing there week in, week out. He puts effort in, so he should be playing. Let's be real, guys. The least that we should all expect from any Leeds United player is that they put effort in when they wear that white shirt. I'm not the greatest Jamie Shackleton fan. I think it's quite common knowledge of that, but I will admit that he has a good start to the season. But is he the solution long term? Absolutely not. And I mean, if you think he is, fair enough. Football's subjective. We all have opinions, but that's just an outrageous take if you believe that, in my opinion. I just don't agree with him starting games. And if Firpo isn't fit to start this game and Sam Byram is, I would be putting Sam Byram back in at left back on Sunday, 100%. But as for Junior Firpo, yeah, I would give him an opportunity to see how he goes. I would. So yeah, let's just get a few more comments in before we move on. Sini wanted to go and force the sale. Yeah. New manager, new start for Shacks. Yeah, potentially, but when everyone is fit, Shacks is back on the bench. Yeah, exactly, Jay. Exactly. So then, let's speak about the Sheffield Wednesday game then. So it was actually funny on holiday, obviously, trying to find a bar to watch it in. We found one that had it advertised. We're thinking, right, great. Gets to this bar. They have the game on. About not even 5 minutes into the game, it just goes off and the Leicester Hull game comes on instead. Obviously, there's a lot of Leicester and Hull fans in this bar as well. And it was a right scenario where in the end, basically, we couldn't get the game back on. So we had to walk to the complete other end of the strip. And we found another bar and we finally got it on. So there was about 15-20 minutes of the game that I missed. But let's be honest, didn't really miss much, did I? Because it's a tough one for me to really analyse, in all honesty, because I don't think it was us playing bad. I just think Chef Wednesday had a clear game plan to come and frustrate the living daylights out of us, and they succeeded in that. And you've got to, when I say respect it, I mean, look, it is what it is. Like I said, they had a game plan, they stuck to it, and it worked. But it was so frustrating to watch because we definitely had enough quality out on that pitch to beat them, even with how they played. But I'll be honest, I expected them to maybe sit back in certain parts of the game, but I really didn't expect that level of parking the bus. It's arguably their biggest game of the season, Leeds United away. I know they've had a poor start to the season and things aren't really going well for them off the pitch either. But again, like I said, it's their biggest game of the season. I thought they'd have been bang up for it. And I thought they were going to come and at least try to play football against Leeds. But they just didn't. And the fact that their fans were applauding that and, were jumping around like they'd just won the league or that they'd won the game. Getting a point was a win for them, and that is very, very sad. And that's not me being bitter, but if I was a Sheffield Wednesday fan and I travelled up from Sheffield to watch that, I wouldn't be happy. They showed us way too much respect. And every time they had hold of the ball, they were just hoofing it upfield, clearing it as far away from their box as possible, and just invited pressure. I felt at times players like Nonto and Somerville were trying to do everything on their own, which I understand. They're our creative players. They were trying to create. But it just felt like when they couldn't do anything that we had no other option. Joel Perreault and Jorginho Rutter are an interesting partnership. I felt against Ipswich it works really well. They were kind of both interchanging. Perreault would be at 10, then Rutter would be at 10, and it was and I thought it worked quite well against Ipswich. But against Sheffield Wednesday, it just looked bizarre to me. They weren't really interchanging. It was Rutter as the number 9 and Perreault in the 10. Perreault just looked wasted at 10. Didn't realise that he was even on the pitch until the second half. And look, I wasn't disappointed in Perreault. I was more disappointed in Farke for setting up like that, because the reason why we were all excited about Perreault signing was that he was going to be the new number 9. He was going to be the target man. He was going to be the player that scores goals. Now, I'm not saying that Perreault is as good as Harry Kane, but is a similar profile of striker where I accept that he will drop deep to receive the ball in certain attacks, and he will help out a bit there. And that's fine. Like I said, against Ipswich, him and Rutter were swapping. If Perreault dropped, then Jorginho would go further up. If Jorginho dropped to 10, then Perreault would go further up. And it worked well. But Perreault was just wasted at number 10 for me against Sheffield Wednesday. It didn't look right. It was very disjointed going forward. And as I say, if Somerville and Nonto couldn't do anything, it was like we had no other option. Jorginho obviously has that chance where he gets played through and he basically just passes it to the goalkeeper. We all know what he was trying to do, or at least what I hope he was trying to do. He was trying to lob the keeper. For me, he could have either lobbed the keeper correctly, or he could have brought that down and he could have took it round the keeper. Because he's obviously quick enough to get round the keeper. That was probably our only clear-cut opportunity. There was a few half chances here and there, but Sheffield Wednesday did have the odd chance where they scared us and they really had my heart in my mouth. And I think if Sheffield Wednesday had have got a goal in that game and won it, I would have been absolutely raging. But we didn't lose it. We held on for the point. I say held on for the point. They held on for the point. But yeah, look, I thought Nonto and Somerville looked good. They looked bright, but they just weren't creating anything. But was that us being bad or them being bad, or was it just Sheffield Wednesday set up well and just limited our attacks? You could say that. You could say that definitely. A few positives, obviously, we saw Glenn Kamara come on and make his debut. I thought he looked okay in the brief cameo that he had. But Jed Spence, for me, I mean, he was on the pitch for about, 10 minutes, if that, and he was arguably the best player on the pitch. Sheffield Wednesday couldn't get near him. For a guy who's not that big set built, he's quite strong on the ball. There was a scenario, I think, where he had about 3 Sheffield Wednesday players all around him, and he managed to get through them. He keeps the ball well. His defensive work was good. Like, there was that opportunity where Sheffield Wednesday got played through, and he ran all the way back and got that block in to avoid them scoring. His attacking players, link-up play looked really good. And for me, if he's fully fit on Sunday, he would be starting ahead of Luke Ayling all day long. You know, Jed Spence has not come to Leeds United to be second fiddle to Luke Ayling. Let's just make that right. Let's just make that abundantly clear. Jed Spence has not come to be second fiddle to Luke Ayling. So I think Spence will start on Sunday if he's fit. But yeah, all round, guys, it was a frustrating watch. But at least we didn't lose it. It's a point on the board going into Millwall. But for me, I was expecting a win. I was expecting a comfortable win. But like I say, I do just worry moving forward about, because I think there'll be more games like that this season where teams come to Ellen Road and sit back and, hope to just get a point. As someone said earlier, hopefully Farke's working on the training pitch with, alternative plans and tactics to beat that, that sort of low block sort of team. Let's just get into a few of your comments. Ref's been bad for us. Yeah, the ref was a bit embarrassing that day as well, wasn't he? Jay's saying we played okay, but we need to learn how to break down teams. Farke will be drilling this into the team, and I fully expect to see us do better against teams playing a low block going forward. Yeah, hopefully, mate. Like I say, I just think tactics and plans need to be amended and adjusted if we come across teams that play it in this way. Agree, Shipper. The officials have been, yeah, they are. They've been awful. Our team needs to gel with the new players coming in. Yeah, exactly. I said that earlier. I think once the new players are integrated properly and they're implemented and they're forming relationships with each other, I do think the football will naturally get better. Farke will sort the low block. It will take time. Yeah, I have faith in him as well. I really do. Be interesting what Farke's saying. His press. Yeah, the press conference is tomorrow. Obviously, I will be doing my match preview ahead of the Millwall game tomorrow night, so make sure you tune into that as well. We have signed quality, a much better squad now. Yeah, I think someone at work actually said that today. Yeah, it was my first day back at work today, which was depressing. But anyway, someone said that today that I actually think we have arguably got a better squad now than what we did in the Premier League, 100%. Jay's agreeing with Kevin, saying new team, new football philosophy will need time to come together. Yeah, exactly. Of course it will. Rutter Bamford, I know who I prefer in all seriousness. Oh, God, please say you prefer Rutter. Make sure you get the like and subscribe. Yeah, exactly, guys. There's 26 of you in the building as we stand. As Jay said there, make sure that you smash the like button if you're enjoying it. And please subscribe if you are brand new. I really want to hit 3,000 subscribers as soon as possible. If you could help me out with that, that would be very much appreciated. New beginning, new board and everything. Yeah, exactly. Spence looks a brilliant bit of business. Yeah, he really does. Just so cool, calm, collected. On the ball, going forward, defensively, just a clear upgrade on Luke Ayling. Clear upgrade. We probably lose him like Ben White. Yeah, but Jed Spence is literally just a loan. There's no option to buy. I don't think there was with Ben White either, but I think Jed Spence will literally just be this season, 100%. 49's need to splash the cash on Spence. Well, we'll see how he does first. Spence at right back, Ayling at right wing. God, please don't say that. I won't be cheap. What? Oh, it won't be cheap. Yeah, it won't be, no. Don't forget to mention the Kinnear interview. Yeah, thanks for that, Kevin. Yeah, I think that's the next thing that I was going to come on to. Yeah, so that's fine. Rutter, yeah. Every time, of course. So then, Now we've covered the Sheffield Wednesday game, let's speak about the Angus Kinnear interview then. I did listen to it. Obviously, it came out whilst I was away. I was listening to it by the pool one day. Um, and yeah, look, it was interesting. Obviously, I just want to credit and give a shout out to the Square Ball. I thought they asked the right questions. They put some really interesting topics to Angus Kinnear, and I felt they handled the interview in a very professional way. So I just want to big up the Square Ball for that. Really good content over on that channel, as we all know. Really good Leeds podcast, and yeah, I thought they handled it really well. And yeah, obviously, they were asking him about the contracts of these players that have gone out on loan, and obviously he was saying about the fact that they kind of had to do it for the profit and sustainability, because if they'd have tried selling these players for fees, that they would have been less than what they are worth or less than what we paid, which would have put us in a negative situation in regards to P&S. Which obviously I think we all expected him to say that, but it was just interesting to hear it come from his mouth and obviously get his perspective on it. And obviously, he was saying that this one will not be happening again. Didn't actually outright slag Victor Orta off, but you could tell with certain things that he was saying that he was, implying that Victor Orta did a bad job, which I think, yeah, he obviously did. But I feel like the main talking point for me that I took from it was when it was discussing the exits of Luis Sinisterra and Tyler Adams. Obviously, both players have joined Bournemouth. Sinisterra is on an initial loan. I think there's an option to buy in there. And obviously, Tyler Adams left on a permanent deal. Now, when Sini obviously completed his move to Bournemouth, it was reported about, him and his agent threatening to make legal action against Leeds, and it could have turned into another JKA scenario, which is why Leeds United were happy to let him go as long as they got a replacement, which they did with Jadon Anthony. So Sini's obviously proven that he is, of course, a rat and a snake as well. He was at Thorpe Arch that day. He was saying to fans, kids outside the ground, that he was staying. And then within an hour or two, he's down at Bournemouth having a medical. It's just an absolute disgrace how he's handled the situation. And although he's a really good player, and I feel like he would have been a great asset to us this season, if he's going to be like that, then I don't want to see him in a Leeds United shirt ever again. And obviously, the Tyler Adams situation now, the Square Ball asked Angus Kinnear if he would have liked to have kept Tyler Adams and Luis Sinisterra, and he said no. And initially, when he said no, I was a bit taken aback. I was like, what? Like, I kind of understood with Sini because of what we'd heard about the legal action and everything. Because, Tyler Adams was also really pushing for a move in the background, and apparently both players, were threatening the club, saying that they would do anything in their power to get out of the club this summer. And when they asked him if he would like to keep them, he said no, because of their huge desire to leave. And look, it just confirms, doesn't it, that a lot of these players who left are just cowards, snakes, rats, all of the above. I mean, he was even saying about Jack Harrison joining Everton that, he just doesn't get the mentality of wanting to go to Everton in the situation that they're in. Let's be honest, they'll either go down or they'll be very, very deep in that relegation battle. So you'd rather go there over staying at Leeds and helping the club get promoted for the second time. And, dominating this league, potentially playing well, scoring goals, assists. And he's gone to Everton. And even Adams and Sini. Look, as much as I'm not a fan of Luis Sinisterra now after what he's done, he's better than Bournemouth. Let's just be real here. He is better than Bournemouth. But he wanted to play in the Premier League, and any Premier League club that came for him, he would have gone to. I thoroughly believe that. If it had been Burnley, Luton Town, whoever, he would have gone there just because they're in the Premier League and he wants to play at a high level. That is literally why he's gone there. Tyler Adams the same. I mean, Bournemouth, you're going from playing in front of 30,000 fans at Ellen Road. Yes, it's in the Championship, but you're going to a Premier League club whose stadium holds 11,000. It's like playing at a training pitch. Fan base are shocking. Team, again, probably going to be in the lower half of the Premier League, not fighting for anything. It's just nothing moves for me. And you could tell that Kinnear was very annoyed and frustrated at the amount of outgoings that there were and to the certain teams that these players were leaving to go to as well. But yeah, look, as I say, I felt the Square Ball did the interview very well. They put a lot of good questions to Angus Kinnear, and it was good to get his perspective on certain situations going on at the club. But yeah, it was quite the talking point, wasn't it? So, I wanted Kinnear's take on JKA. Yeah, that'd have been interesting, wouldn't it? Kevin saying when Raj deleted his tweets and account on Twitter over it. Yeah, again, I think Rad's. I haven't actually seen this tweet, so if anybody knows what he said, can you drop it in the comment section below for me, please? Because with the Wi-Fi and the signal and everything over in Turkey, I only had Wi-Fi and stuff at certain points in the day. So I didn't actually see the tweet. By the time I'd got Wi-Fi again, it had been deleted. But I've not actually seen what he said. But from what I can gather, he's obviously bitten back at certain things that Angus Kinnear has said, and then he's quickly removed the tweet and he's deleted his Twitter account, which is the best thing that he has ever done in his life because he always reacts on Twitter after a glass of wine. So yeah, he's done the right thing in deleting his Twitter for his own sake as well. So yeah, Jay's saying it was a great interview. Fair play to Angus for going on. Just bear with me, guys. There's just someone at my door. I haven't ordered any food, mate. Nope. Apologies for that, guys. I was a takeaway guy thinking that I'd ordered food when I haven't. So yeah. Anyway, where was I? It was yeah, exactly. So I do think Angus Kinnear came across quite well in the interview. And yeah, God, sorry guys, my train of thought's just absolutely gone with that. I really didn't expect to knock at the door at this time. So yeah, obviously, as Jay said, fair play to Angus for going on. I think certain CEOs at clubs, especially in the scenario that Leeds United are in at the minute and everything that's gone on, would have probably have said no to that interview. So as you said, fair play for him to going on and putting his points across. And as I said, I felt the Square Ball did a really good job with the interview. I felt like there could have been other things asked, like the JKA situation and other things, but I get that there may have been certain things that were restricted in that interview for confidentiality reasons, I guess. But yeah, look, the interview's done now. We've got a bit of clarity on certain situations, and it was interesting to hear about obviously Adams and Sini and his overall thoughts on those exits. So yeah, let's get into some more comments. The analysis of it on the Square Ball with Phil here is also really good. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I might give that a watch actually. We don't need them; they can stay away. Yeah. I don't think I would welcome back any of the loanees next season, excluding the youngsters. Yeah, no, and that is a good point. I don't think I'd have any of them back either. At first, I was thinking maybe Mark Rocker because I think he was maybe limited in the Jesse Marsh system and the Javi Grazia system and everything last season. But could Mark Rocker do well under Daniel Farker? Potentially, but I just think how they've all handled these situations is just absolutely disgusting. And it just shows you, doesn't it, how weird is it that Nonto is the one that officially handed in a request and refused to play and everything, and yet he's here because the club showed good, you know, they took a really good stance on Willie Nonto. So yeah, fair play. But I wouldn't have any of the loanees back apart from, well, I wouldn't have Greenwood back because I don't think he's good enough. But yeah. I did. It's on the content creator channel. Whose channel? I retweeted a screenshot of it on Twitter, mate, so I'll send it to you. Cheers, mate. Thank you. I think the Vitality Stadium was 12k, but Bournemouth only have 18,000 fans. Yeah. Due to NDA prob not allowed with JKA. Yeah, exactly, Alison. Yeah, like I said, it's probably confidentiality reasons why other things weren't addressed. But as I say, I still felt like the questions that were asked were very good ones that we all needed answers to. I would have welcomed Rocker back, but after his recent comments in regard. Yeah, exactly. I've seen that. I've seen that quote. This is what I mean. These players must have so, the egos of them. It's an absolute joke. It is an absolute joke. Like what? Like how? These players are responsible for getting us into the championship, and yet they think they're better than it. Like what? It's just an absolute joke. And then you've got Brendan Aronson scoring that free kick. That goalkeeper in that game was pretty much a hologram. He just went straight through him. And he's giving it the Bellingham like that. Get a grip, mate. Get a grip. Don't want Rocker back. He was pushing to go. Yeah, exactly. Evening, Alison. Yeah, evening, Alison. Yeah, thanks for joining the chat. So, yeah, look, I think that's all I've really got for this catch-up session tonight, guys. Obviously, I feel like that everything we've discussed there are obviously the main things that have happened since I've been away. It's really, really good to be back speaking with you all, and content is, of course, going to be consistent from here on in. Obviously, as I said earlier, I will be back on the channel tomorrow night. Not sure if it'll be a live or a pre-record, as I do have plans after work tomorrow. So it'll probably be a pre-record, guys, instead of a live. But it will be on the channel tomorrow night at some point, your Millwall preview. Then there'll obviously be match day thoughts on Sunday morning ahead of the game, followed by your review, the last say on Monday. So basically, guys, a lot of content over the next few days on the Chatting Leeds channel. So make sure that you hit that like button on the video so you get more, so the video gets out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new. And of course, hit the notification bell and get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and I will see you in a bit. Cheers.